So I just said A1 is gentle, A2 is Chris. So that is the name of the speakers that are in this little edit here. And then now I'm going to the voice section, and I'm just letting it know what's what. Actually, and I think I did some stupid stuff there. I'm skipping ahead, so we don't got to watch this forever. Long story short, once I have all of my little settings here on Autopod, if you know what you're doing, this should take literally like 30 seconds. And then I'm just going to change up the settings on here. So it's at standard right now. I'm changing it to change up with the high frequency. I've got everything all dialed, and this is what would normally take me 4 hours right here. I'm going to click a button, and this is the beginning of the edit. And this is what, man, if you're an editor, this sucks.
I have a question. So why do you have the one with you both on there? Is it that you want to switch up between?
I want to include that just so that if anytime I want, I can enable that. And then it'll show both of us. And I only did it at the very beginning, but it definitely helps. And it's a great question because you can add stuff in after the fact that I deleted. He had a couple different little things that he shared his screen and showed. I can add those in after the fact. But just to get the initial edit of two dudes talking to each other, it would take me hours of showing him, enabling his voice, showing me, enabling my voice, and that back and forth. If you're a super fast editor, you might be able to do that in 40 minutes. I'm not. Look how fast it's changing on the screen right now. That's AI making cuts. It's making things visible and not visible. It's just changing it just insanely fast. That what you're watching happen right there on the screen would take me an hour. Like it, well, probably 4 hours because I don't stay focused for very long. So that's it. After that, I watch.
Okay, Chris.
Okay, wait. Let's see it. I want to see it.
You gotta wait. I don't know. I don't
okay,
know.
but that's for multi-camera editing.
I mean, you know, we could.
Wait, I want to see it, Chris. Show us what it looks like.
Listen to the despair and.
No, but I need to see it. I mean, we see the cuts, but I need to see it. I want to see how it looks. This is for me.
All right, here we go. This is for Melina. So this is me not having a video ready. This is me sharing the screen to my computer because I do not want to let my co-host down. She's awesome. She deserves to see this thing.
I just truly and I hope you guys agree. I want to see if it really cuts it up the way we're seeing it on the timeline. I want to see how seamless it looks.
All right, so here's Premiere open, and I suck at Premiere, but I've gotten better at it. Okay, well, I'm gonna go fast. Skateboard. Oh, that was skateboarder. I used to film my. Let's go like here.
And it's a statement. It is really a statement when you're driving at night. And I remember those halo lights. My mom had a BMW for most of my life, and we went to BMW dealerships as well. But man, the new lights it's wild, the technology, and I'm sure it's so cheap for them to make.
Yeah, it's wild. That was what I did for let's go to this. You guys can go watch this later if you want. But
Dad, he's a good person. Chris, how are you?
I'm good, man. I love that. I was literally see all these little cuts every time it changes from one to tell me what to do, and it's easy to do it. I like it.
Let's go, man. So we started off with what we're grateful for.
Look how natural
today.
that is.
What are you grateful for?
The key is having multiple cameras. Like there's only Autopod is only good if you have multiple. So like recording live in person with a one camera shot Autopod does not help at all, right? Like doing a solo talking to camera doesn't help at all. You have to have two locations or one location, two cameras.
Fanzo? I'm just kidding.
But I think it's really important that we point this out that I do one camera YouTube videos where it's education, but I still have to cut that up because there's silence in there.
All right, Brooke, you ready for this? Are you doing content that's you one speaker speaking into the camera?
Yes, that's what I just said.
Right. Okay. So there's a go check out opus.pro, opus.pro.
I like video better than Opus, but I've used both of them. Opus is good. Video.ai is really freaking good at that too. Like it'll drop. And if you're looking for a mobile one that's under 3 minutes, the Captions app now has a new AI feature that says cut out every single pause and every time I move, center focus. Like
Bro,
it auto
downloaded the Captions app.
Caption app.
Captions app is goated.
I messaged them and told them that I would pay $50 a month if they let me do more than 3 freaking minutes. Like I literally, that's how much I like that damn captions app. It is
so good.
It is
Between
gold.
that and CapCut, like you barely need to have any sort of desktop like paid for stuff. So it is absolutely wild. Hey, I've completely neglected the stage again. Hey, Sanza, way to stay on top.
And the comments on YouTube. I feel like Chris, you're neglecting YouTube comments.
Whoa. I said there was an intermission. I didn't say how long the intermission was going to last for. All right, that's
Chris,
all I'm saying. But,
I'm live on Twitter, by the way.
Go ahead.
I'm live streaming this on Twitter.
Dude, that's
how do you do
everybody
that?
leave the
I'm
live
doing it.
stream
I'm
here
doing it
and
too.
go watch Moishi's.
I'm also live streaming on YouTube, just by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, I should be doing that
Okay.
too. I should be on TikTok live.
All right. Look, let's throw this over.
This is called syndication and distribution of content.
No, this is called
AI.
piracy. You're stealing the show, Moishi. Sanza is trying to get my shit back on track. I'm just sitting here. I thought if I put on glasses, shit was gonna get easier. Fuck those things. This is stupid.
Yeah, the glasses completely sidetracked everything on it. This is all Book's fault. But let's throw it over real quick to Eddie. Eddie's been up here for a while, and then we'll throw it over to Kathleen right after. Eddie, what's good, my man?
Yo, I'm gonna be doing some learning from you guys, and might actually want to set up a call at some point in the next few days or week or two, as I learn how to do this. But I have a quick question. Are you guys accepting any more video participants right now?
Yeah.
Hell yes.
Of course.
Yo, Eddie,
We've got a
you're
space.
welcome
Look
to
at
come
Eddie.
on to-
Moishi's
Get
all
in
by
here.
himself. He looks all cute and lonely down there at
I'm
the bottom
down.
of the
How do I
screen.
get in?
I'll
How do I
Okay,
get in?
while we're getting Eddie
We
in,
are
though-
two away from Brady Bunch.
Perfect.
Those under the age of 30, Google what Brady Bunch is.
All right, Melina, what's up?
I just wanted to go back to what we were just talking about. So Autopod is good for a bit like what GT is doing, a bit what I'm doing. Fanzo, you also interview people, right? Like this is good if you're interviewing someone and it's cutting out that process of doing it yourself. But
you also
my
need
next
software that records on both sides, right? Like so, like
so if you're on StreamYard, like what we're doing.
Oh, StreamYard, yeah, but I mean, for a lot of people that are using Zoom, if you don't have like the Zoom Pro plan, you're not gonna be able to use. It won't. Set it up the dual one as well. So like, I think for people that use StreamYard, yeah.
So
I'm gonna tell you, I use Adobe Premiere Rush, which is the very
basic,
really, really basic. So I did all those jump cuts and comedic cuts on the last bit. Well, all of them. I did it with Premiere Rush,
which is pretty good.
Just chop and then move it, chop and then move it, but it does take a while, and you do have to have a little bit of technical acumen. You just do. So, but it's possible to do it on that, and I just have the Adobe suite from business. So
yeah,
love it.
So my question to you, Chris, is: are you paying for Autopod?
Dude, I pay for so many things. Yes, I have.
No, Autopod. Tell us, how much is it?
$29.
$29.
Free for the first month. But
AI is the most costly thing in the freaking world. 9,000 subscriptions, $900 a month to save our hours.
Yeah. Basically, I pay so that I can make content for people that pay me to make them content.
Okay.
Opportunity cost.
Okay.
I have another question. So $29. Now, can it turn this into TikToks? Can it take the best parts for you? Because the problem I have, Fanzo, is, and I like that video AI and the big room TV that you sent us. I find that AI has yet to understand what are the best moments in my interview.
Because it's all on inflection still. And for loud people like us and people that are passionate, AI is like, screw you, we have no idea.
Exactly.
Like every time it thinks the end of my question is the most exciting fucking part because that's my transition. And I just want to yell at the AI and be like, no, do not clip that 30-second clip. So like, and the other part, I mean, this is probably a bigger conversation for AI. Most of the AI we're using right now is not building for us. You know, ChatGPT is, right? So anyone that uses the Pro plan, make sure you use the API and connect it to everything you use ChatGPT because it stacks your ChatGPT history to be better know for you. But like any of these tools, Adobe Premiere, none of these do a good job of actually stacking your information, right? Because like, I would love for it to know that like I'm loud and don't even use, like, I don't even want clips of me. I want clips of the person I'm interviewing. Like the AI is still really hard to figure that part out. I mean, I think video.ai does a decent job of it. Anyone uses Descript. I think Descript is probably the best at it right now, but Descript is another one that costs out the ass for what you're.
Yeah, I pay for that. I pay for everything, and then I pay for editors, and I'm not profitable.
Wait, Chris, you're paying for editors, AI. Who's sponsoring you?
Nobody. Damn it. I actually, yeah.
And every month when it pops up that
Chris,
we pay, I'm like, shit, I need to turn that off.
Yeah. We got this. This is the thing. I have a couple things that allow me to test my different stuff. If it weren't for Sanza, literally, you know what would be different? Apparently electricity is at the core of all of this, and I wouldn't be able to keep the lights on. So this live stream is brought to you by Sanza, everybody. Let's go. All right.
Yeah. Let's do it. That's just, me. The essential being at the core of all things. No. The guy who can't figure out the fucking streaming going live in a matter of minutes.
All right, all you silly people.
We do have a hand up.
I do got a hand up. I do have an Eddie here. Eddie, I don't know if you heard the rundown of if your phone's making noise because you're on the stage.
Can you hear it right now? I mean, I
sit on it. You just gotta put a pillow and then just suffocate your audio under your butt, or put it in the other room. Yeah, that's what I did with the glasses. You don't need that thing. Fuck that thing. Okay.
I think that should be good. Also,
is that VR?
No, these are my classic ski goggles. Yeah, so
that'll catch people's attention
apologies
immediately.
for the mess of a room. But yeah, I you guys were talking about like eyewear, and I figured, this is kind of on brand. So these are my ski goggles. These are actually updated, so you'll notice that they're different from the ones in my profile picture. But yeah, you could also see literally everything. So I have to be very careful. You have like a POV view here, like, so, but,
bullish.
Hello.
I like it. I like
cool.
I feel like I can see me in you.
You definitely can.
Fantastic.
And also I guess
Another Inception moment.
Why did that feel like a pickup line? Why did that feel like a pickup line?
The Riz is real today on the live stream.
Now the interesting thing is I'm planning on eventually set, like right now I'm going through my Logitech cam, although eventually I think I'd like to go through this, so we'll see how that goes, because I've had this for years and like I haven't been using it for the past few years. I'm like, this seems pretty great to set up if I can. But yeah, I've got some ideas, and either way I'm having fun. This is cool.
Eddie, you live 10 minutes from me. We could also do an ongoing podcast series
dude
at the same time,
IRL, dude.
I know.
Honestly, a bunch of us need to. Like, I'm totally down.
Yeah. One thing I heard Twitter has is DMs. You guys should use it. Hey, I did want to go to vegan.
Okay, whoa. We didn't have to get attacked. Okay. Even my camera's like, whoa, you got attacked, bro. All right, look. I forgot that I promised someone I would be at a 6 o'clock space. So I'm gonna figure it out through my Android. But what I will say is this: the order of hands that we're going to go through is Kathleen, who's been waiting for a minute. And then we're going to throw back over to begin. Kathleen, what's good?
I'm trimming my plants, guys. They keep coming inside to talk, and I got shit to say. Hey, Brookie, and Fanzo, and all of you. So I love this conversation because you guys are the missing link for me. And my dad was an electrician, by the way. And Brooke, I've been wanting to wallpaper my wall with my headshot, so don't worry about being vain. The reason this is so important to me is because I grew up on every show you guys talk about. Like I'm 67. Let's just put it in perspective. Worked in television. I'm sitting here scanning my father's life history in Northern Ireland. Like literally, I had so much footage. I made my first film on the set of Paramount in my son's trailer. Patrick Stewart came in, all these people on the set of Star Trek on a little 8-track. So I love film. I have so much fucking footage to do as well. And so, and if you look at my Instagram, I've been posting some stuff from the gag reel on Family Ties to support Michael Fox.
Was that me? I just heard it. Did we lose her?
Is this thing on?
No, she won't. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
That sounded that was like
yeah.
a violent rug. That was like something.
Am I back?
That was a hard stop rug.
My
That was
AirPod died.
A hard rug.
it's always those Petsy AirPods.
And
That's
I
why you
tried
use the Gen Z Brook version, Gen X.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, to continue. I've
Let's
been
go.
trying to jump into the YouTube live. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go for it.
Okay.
We won't interrupt you.
I've been trying to jump into the YouTube live at the same time. So it's also complicated. But exactly what you guys are saying about everything getting shorter and shorter, I've been studying all this for years. And I just texted a friend to come into this room before you guys started talking to say, you got to get in these rooms, Angela. Everything's speeding up. Your book is a waste of time. My movies are a waste of time. All the screenplays and my published article, it's a fucking waste of time. These kids, their attention span is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. And I was also a preschool teacher starting at 16. Like I know this shit inside out and special ed. So I had just texted all that. And then you guys are so on point. And I'm studying it myself and I'm studying you. So here's my question, because I've been taking notes on all the AI. And I also have been in tech. I was in the Signal Corps in the 70s and Bell in the 80s. I was a technician. So I'm really excited, as you can tell, but can I take all my footage that I've been saving through so many moves and divorces and assholes and put it into this video AI and Premiere Pro? I was taking notes, Chris, and have it do the cuts for me.
Yeah, but it's kind of different. So like, here's the long story short. Get it digitized as fast as you can. Like that's the big thing. If you have a way to get all your old footage, I have old skateboarding footage from when I was a kid. That's how I got into video stuff. And it's all on
I did that 6 years
VHS-C and all
ago.
that. Okay, so you've got it. So here's the good news is you can take multiple bits of footage and use this tech, but it only really works if it's a conversation. Other than that, it's just going to kind of be a montage. So like, I'm sure, if there's not AI montage, what I was doing for the last half hour before the stream started today was making a montage of me and Melina, her videos, my videos, and like chopping them all up and trying to make this little cool intro. And I tried to get too fancy and it took me too damn long and nobody got to see it. So failed. But if I had AI to do that for me, I could have been like, bam, here's all these videos, make cool shit out of it. Actually, Facebook does a good job at that, right? Like they take all the moments.
Google Photos, their new upgrade for video is pretty badass.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
You can have it now where you do the audio clip. It's free.
Dope.
Here's what I want to interject, though. I've been doing it in InShot. And so what Brooke said was so spot on about the TikTok stuff. I know where the jokes are on everything I have because I was the one filming all of it, all over the world and on the TV sets we were on. I was filming. And now all these years later, I'm going through footage from the 80s going, man, that is funny shit. And the camera was always on in my house. So in the 80s, all the kids you saw on Growing Pains, Married with Children, all those shows, they hung out at my house. Robin Thicke hung out at my house. And the camera was always on, and I never let my kids go anywhere. I was the babysitter in control, right? So it's not that I want to exploit any of that shit, but I love the comedy and I love the education. And it's my life story, too. It's all part of it. So that's where I'm coming from with it. Like, I can do it in InShot and move the dialogue around as I want it to go. So I don't know how much I'm going to lose of my own authentic knowledge on how to time shit, right? And make it less than 15 seconds. So that's kind of where I am. And I'll be quiet now and go back to trimming my plants.
I mean, listen,
I love this one.
I appreciate you being here. I appreciate the question too. And it's something that I've thought about for a really long time. We have these discussions when we have like the YouTube creator, just nerd sessions. And we used to do those every morning on Clubhouse and it was awesome.
Oh my God.
My buddy Roberto Blake always kind of goes on one polar end of it, which is keep every bit of footage you've ever taken and have duplicate or triplicate of it and keep it on multiple hard drives that if one of those fails, you still got the backup, because inevitably we're going to reach a point where it like hard drive space is not a big deal. Storage isn't a big deal. Like editing all this stuff up with AI is not a big deal. And you could literally load 30 years of video into a machine and just be like, hey, give me the highlight moments of 2004. give me the highlight moments of 2015, or like what was I doing the day, X current event happened, and like show me on video, and it'll just spin up because I mean it's a little Black Mirror, but it's also not very far from reality, which is when this stuff is able to happen because we request it, then Sanza will cut it.
As long as the robot dogs don't chase after us, I'll be happy.
It's gonna happen.
I don't need
before robot dogs get us. That's what's gonna happen.
I do want to answer Kathleen though, because I disagree with you a bit. I would say write the script, write the book. It doesn't matter that the kids have 10 seconds attention span. I would focus way more on who your community is. Like, is your script for kids or is it for adults, right? Like, is your book geared towards kids, right? I would focus on your community. I would also like to say that I saw that on TikTok, actually, what's really working right now are 5-minute videos. So I'm gonna take it, like I don't want anyone to think that they can't write a book because of what's going on social media. Social media is one way. It's not the only way. So I want you to write your book. I want you to tag me when you finish it. I want you to do it and not like, doesn't matter. You have to figure out who your audience is. And the reason probably why your content is not working right now is because you haven't figured out who your audience is. So I would say focus on who it is you're talking to and talk to them. To that one person, start with one person. And it doesn't matter about I don't believe in the attention spam. Yeah, I just don't. I don't buy it. So I'm not saying you're making excuses, but we're so used to hearing people who have to get the best microphone before they start. Just get it done. Find an editor, chop up all your content, chop up everything you've done in your home and see who it relates to. I don't even think the kids know what Full House is. You know what I mean? Like, so it doesn't matter. I would just say,
If no one knows what Full House is, get the fuck out. Do not even stay in this space. Don't talk at me.
Relax.
You know what Full House is.
I feel like
Fuller House. Whoa. Yeah, how do you feel about Fuller House?
I do.
Can I just say my son's first tattoo is with Jodie Sweetin standing next to him, but it was a press on.
Bold.
Yeah.
Wait, that's not a tattoo then.
I was trying to figure out who's talking.
It's covered now, so I regret it.
Chris, can we get the thing back? The stream.
Oh, you want
Can I just
Give
add
us the
to
Twitter.
what Sanza said, please, Chris?
Okay, hold on. There's too many. Go ahead, Fanzo.
No, it was
Wait.
It was Moishi telling me what to do.
Who was called upon, Sanza or Fanzo? Because they get really fucking close.
Okay, I know Fanzo. I'm a proud collector. He gifted me. No, it was Sanza. I wanted to say, Sanza, I have all the stuff I've written. I have my journal since I was 15 years old. I feel very strongly, and don't get me started on Apple and the shit that I've gone through to save my shit, because it will go another way. But I want to tell my story the way I want it told. It's really important to me. So that's one aspect of that. And what I was saying to my friend was not don't write your book, but the purpose of learning these tools for me in social media and advertising and that stuff that I've been studying in the background all these years right now is to make things that suck people in to want to read the book. So little mini trailers and reels is how I'm viewing it right now from my perspective. I
love that.
So I just
I think this is also where it comes down to, we're in this AI world, we're all going to be more focused on the business of trust than anything else, and it's not going to matter what length, like the I think the hardest part in this space too, on top of that, is majority of people have great video that no one's seen. And so a video that's long form, that is not edited for 15 seconds because you don't have the time, that has 10 views, has 10 more views than the video that's never been published, right? I think we all have plenty of those and plenty of that. And I say that because I've written 2 full books that I've never published, because for some reason books give me like the heebie-jeebies, and I have like this like feeling like it's like a legacy, and like then I have to realize my kids will never care about some business book I write in 2023. But for me, like that's like one of the things. But like, I mean, my mantra is press the damn button, right? Like if we had more great content creators that just press the damn button, we would have a lot more great content that's out there. The problem is the people that press the damn button right now, most of them suck, or they're selling unicorn rainbows.
I'm on camera. What do you want? Oh, so Dad.
I got him. You are dead on, Fanzo.
I'm on camera, he
Push
said.
the damn button. Like, guys, I'm looking good. Mom, you're interrupting me in front of my friends.
I had the mute on.
But Fanzo, I totally agree. I totally agree. That's why I told her, like, write the book, write this. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And I would even say, don't focus on the length, the trailer, just post something. But I would say, I strongly recommend figure out who it is that is interested in this. You can say it, you can sell it as best as you can, but I would reverse. You have all this content. Figure out who it is that cares about this, make them care, and then go into your story. But if you don't, if you're just going to just go like, we say post, but you're at a point where you have all this content, I would say reverse psychology, the entire thing, come back and figure out who it is you want to talk to, and then start posting, but make it make sense, make the audience care.
Well,
So I will just say real quick.
Also, to add on that, go ahead.
Sorry,
go ahead,
I just learned that this mute means literally nothing. So apologies for the the outburst.
Hey, Eddie's on video. Just so everyone knows.
So I want to add on really quickly to what Melina was saying, which is that I think the problem is what a lot of people start out doing, and this is coming from people who have DM'd me asking me questions. And just that on top of what I've heard on Spaces, no one is consistent long enough to even start asking that question. Absolutely no one. They're like, oh, it's been 3 weeks. It's been 1 month. It's been 2 months. 3 months isn't consistent enough. Some people it might, and depending on how often, right? If you're doing something every day, sure, 3 months, definitely consistent enough, right? Doing something once or twice a week, different story. So it comes down to the consistency, the quality. I would argue that quality is not super important in the beginning because let's be honest, all of us, I speak for all of us. I see everyone nodding. Yep. Every one of us have cringed at our first couple things that we've done. I know I've cringed. I don't even listen to my first 10 spaces. I don't even think about them anymore. I don't even want to think about them. But the reality is, most likely, you're always going to start off to a level that you're not going to enjoy, and that's fine. But perfection is going to be the enemy of progress. You cannot perfect every single thing. What you can do is be somewhat prepared to the best of your personal ability to even get started. And that's all you can ask for in the moment. Don't overthink it. Just press that fucking button. That is really as simple as that.
Yeah.
I feel like if we yell it like Sanza, then the point gets across even more. So let me just fucking tell you guys that if you want to see, go and watch people, go and like scroll through, please not me, because the original TikToks that I did are so bad, but there's some of them there, but they're so bad. And that was only 3 years ago. Like I was just trying to figure it out. I was lip syncing. Like it was so bad. But if you want to go to somebody's YouTube that like has a bunch of subscribers and go all the way to the bottom. I think BitBoys actually talked about this and other people too, that like when they first started, man, that content was bad, like so bad. You just have to keep going. There was times in 2020 that I was doing like 3 videos a day because I was bored as shit. But like that was the whole point, was to keep putting the content out. But we weren't good right away. I mean, I was, don't get me wrong. But it like they go back to the very beginning. I was super funny all the time, even back on Facebook days. Why am I doing this into the microphone? I don't know, but it's funny on
Clubhouse days.
Chris, can we, like,
Clubhouse days, you couldn't see my pretty face. However, you're always going to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. None of us were like, I didn't start on TikTok. I didn't wake up in 2020 like, I think I want to be a TikTok influencer. Like it just didn't work like that. It was just fun. And like, we just were doing stuff, but it was every day and then going live. And I was on live streams forever. Clubhouse, same thing. We were like sleeping with AirPods in our ears. Like it was wild. So you just have to like put in the time.
Look at me. This
was
is how
that a 4-day marathon we had in Clubhouse, Brooke? That one?
Oh, I don't know.
There was a lot. You know what marathon I've been watching, and I cannot stop watching it. It is the marathon of Began holding his hand up. and me not calling on him. So that's we're
Look
gonna
at that professional
end that
segue. I
marathon.
mean, my goodness, look at that professional segue. Very nice.
You know what's interesting? Yo, but Chris, right now,
this for a
me and
living.
Eddie have our physical hands up.
Oh, but Began's so smart. He talks about AI and all this stuff, and Eddie doesn't even know how to mute himself. Like, we're
Okay,
letting you
I
guys
do know how, but it refuses to. I literally had the mute button, and sorry, the hands up.
Yo,
All
Eddie,
right.
there's an AI for that.
We'll go to you guys after Began. Began, tell me something, sir. Tell me something good.
Isn't it begin?
Yo, what's up? So, I mean,
No,
maybe you guys won't like this advice. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You can come whatever. I was just saying, one thing I would say, if someone is having trouble posting content or you're afraid of something, whatever, you can just go talk to GPT and just say, hey, I'm nervous about posting content. What do I do? Make me an action plan. Tell me what to do over the next 5 days to get me over it. You know, and it's just do what the AI says and it'll take care of it. I wanted to circle back though, because we were talking about the point earlier of when you actually have long form content and you're giving it to the AI to cut up, it doesn't know how to find the right things. And it's funny because like, I think we're trying to jump to like the end like world too quickly. Because I think a lot of us, anyone I think who works with an editor, you give them notes on what to do, right? So you give them an hour-long podcast, say, hey, great, check it out. Here's kind of the topics, here's some clips, etc. There's some direction involved. I know a lot of Twitch streamers like myself, you just do marks the whole time. So as the stream's going, you know, damn, it's getting good, hit a mark, right? And then boom, your editor has those marks. And the same thing's gonna need to happen right now for all this AI stuff. So you still need to like keep track of what you're trying to do. I've had, you know, like for instance, if you do a podcast, you could say, okay, do a podcast, you know, use, you know, Whisper to transcribe it. And then you could say, okay, great, pull out all the moments that this person talked about, like, you know, I don't know, someone kept bringing up some particular AI tech. You're like, okay, pull out all those moments, tell me the timestamps, now have the AI edit from there. You're still giving that creative input, but if you're the person who is there live making the content, you're going to have some idea what the best content is. You got to tell the AI. So that's all. Thanks.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, I mean, you cannot take the content creator out of content creation. Like everything starts there. Even the humor. One of the things that I've said a lot of times to anybody, anytime you're in a Twitter space and you hear somebody say something that makes you laugh, AI is going to hear volume, right? It's going to hear like gaps in speaking. But what if there was a long punchline that requires some dead silence? The AI doesn't know that. The AI is not actually.
It's never going to be able to match my facial expressions during like the one from yesterday. It will never be able to. I mean, maybe, you know, maybe not in my lifetime, but I really, truly do not believe that it's ever going to catch those like little facial expressions. I just don't. I mean, maybe again, you know, in my
and or the things that like, if it makes you feel something in your heart, I always say that, like, if it's something that chokes you up, like, what if somebody just said something and their voice didn't change at all, but the substance of what they said is why it made you feel something. If you timestamp something like that from a Twitter space, you can make compelling content with it that does way better than something where somebody hops in like a freaking bozo on Instagram or on TikTok. So
hey, one of the advantages of Zealous, I'll plug Zealous real quick, is they pull in directly from Twitter Spaces, and it'll actually record when certain emojis are used in the audience and mark that for you, right? So if you're all of a sudden getting a bunch of hearts, it'll notice like, hey, apparently whatever the hell you said was a value. So yeah, Zealous.1 for anyone that's doing Twitter Spaces. The other thing that's nice about it, ChatGPT is plugged into it. So it immediately pulls your Twitter space and you can say, write me a blog from this Twitter space. Give me the 10 takeaways. Give me the 15 questions. Tell me who was talking. Zealous has it all directly in there. I mean, I'm an advisor and full transparency to them, but I think it's fucking gold.
No, we've got a bunch of
transparency. I have an affiliate code if you do want to.
Shut up, Moishi. Listen, I want to tell everybody this. Moishi took my ass to school. I want to give him some props here because I know Fanzo's he's been working with Zealous for a while. And I love Zealous from what I've seen. I love what I've seen from Super Spaces. But I had a call with Moishi, and I was like, when I get on these calls with people, I'm like, here's how you do this, here's how you do that. And I like, you know, stroke like look how much I know, blah, blah, blah. This guy, I just shut up and listened to Moishi, and this dude took me to school and showed me some really, really cool stuff. So I do want to go to Moishi right now because he showed me some stuff with Zealous. Moishi. Go be awesome and smart and build on what Fanzo said.
Yeah, dude, I've been using Zealous for a long time. Fanzo was one of the first people I saw to really be using it. Shout out Greg, great application, seeing it evolve over time. There's some really cool features that I've been using on Zealous in terms of tracking, and then using like those markers to then go off. If you want to make it nicer, if you want to make it nicer, you can bring it onto then like the script, but using like timestamps and the emoji reactions to gauge that. And the idea of plugging that into an AI is really cool. I've been playing around with a workflow that takes Zealous into Zapier, the idea of taking the input from there and then taking the timestamps based on interactions and then sending that over to, the script where it's like, here's the best times to look for to now make an edit. Like that's a really cool one. There's a lot of great ways a lot of different markers you can use to find out what the best engaging parts are. And AI is not great at detecting that right now. And the emojis aren't necessarily the best way either, but for now it's a good one for now of the options. There's a lot of ideas I had on how to do that. Comments are a cool one. If you can look at how many comments are doing that, are people retweeting the space at a certain time because they see something funny? Could you look at that? It's different metrics that you can do. Group chats also, I found if there's a group chat for, let's say my show, right? Like the Overtime show, we have a group chat. People will likely speak in the group chat rather than on comments. So how can we gauge that? How do we know when a good moment is? How can we pull that? How can we direct user attention? Because the comment section, you could have a lot of comments around the show, but they're not in the comment section of that episode. So also the comments aren't timestamped connected to the show the way they would be right now. Like on StreamYard, where we're streaming now, every comment that we're having in like the private chat, you're having it set up with timestamps, but they're also not to the second, but to the minutes and not to help you. YouTube has a cool way of doing that where you're able to pull clips like that. So depending on what platform you're trying to like pull clips from, you have to find the best thing from. Also, like for me, I have a Fanzo, you'll love this. Whenever I'm on a space, I have if you go to like zealous.one/media, I have one called Spaces I'm on or something like that. It's a title like that, which pulls every time I'm a speaker on a space. So it's like people say that if Moishi's on the space, it's recorded. And if I find something that I want to clip, I'll be like, yeah, like throw up to a host, like throw up a 10 emoji, a 100 emoji, because now I have a clip for that and it's automatically transcribed. What would be really cool is if you're able to set up a custom emoji. So let's say for like Overtime, if I had a clock emoji that was like I could figure it out on Zealous, and I mentioned this to Greg, like an idea where you can throw up a specific emoji for that group, and that means different items. Like if it's a cool, and you can have mods that do that. So if there is a cool, question that happened, just a funny moment, like different emojis will trigger different moments on Zealous. If that makes sense. Special emojis that you wouldn't regularly use, like weird ones, you could have your mods use. That could be really cool.
Yeah, and I think the big piece of this too is like, recording, what you have and like use feedback, right? Like if someone tweets out and says like, man, this is my favorite part of your podcast, all I do is go back and find that piece and put content around it, right? Like if one person thought it was valuable, like that's a big piece of it. And let's face it, I mean, Twitter Spaces is still behind the curve. I mean, Elon decided to bring president candidate on and then break the entire thing. Like there's a lot of things that would be nice to have inside of this Twitter API, but rumor has it it's worth 1/3 of what it was when Elon bought it. So I don't see any upgrades coming anytime soon. But yeah, I think it's definitely a good one. And the other thing that is nice with Zealous, you don't even have to do it on Twitter Spaces. I have my podcast pulled directly in with the RSS feed. So as soon as my podcast goes live, it pulls it in there. It runs a full transcript. I can use it right direct. So like all my podcast show notes are done using Zealous. The audio in, I say ChatGPT summarize it within Zealous. It summarizes it. I copy that into my show notes of the podcast and I press publish on the podcast. So like, I mean, that's the magic there, is streamlining that shit.
You guys are being, I don't think anybody realizes like the level of just experience from people that are on the stage, that are on in the live stream right now. Like these are all people to follow. Please follow. Please, like, we're not going to be doing this forever. What time is it right now? We got like 15 minutes. We're going to wrap this. But I just want to say, like, I learn a ton from these people all the time and watch what they're doing. And these aren't people that just know a couple things. They work. They do the stuff that they talk about. So if you don't know all these people that are saying stuff right now, you're missing out. AI can help you a lot, but at the end of the day, you have to be the one that's doing this stuff, and then AI is going to empower you. These are people who are powered up, and then they're using AI and they're using tools, and they're squeezing every last drop out of value that they can from efforts they're already putting in. So,
Chris, let me give a quick little workflow that I built out. So StreamYard.
And then we're going to Sapphire, damn it, because she's been patient as shit. Go for it.
Moishi, go ahead, but we got to go to Sapphire.
All right, quick workflow, Sanza. From StreamYard, you're streaming to Zealot. You're streaming to Instagram, right? On Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, and you can also get over to from those. You can also have it sent over with OBS. You're streaming onto TikTok and more. So you could be streaming to 8-9 places at once. And when you have your clips auto set up from whichever, if you're using video or Opus, whatever one you're using, you then have that go into a Google Drive folder connected to repurpose.io. And that's distributing your short form content, which is getting connected to Google Drive via Airtable AI. You're getting captions made from ChatGPT. Everything goes into repurpose and distributed to short form content across everywhere. So TikToks, Instagram, Reels, LinkedIn, Twitter, and all separate customized copy for each video based on what platform it's going to. And you could also have Canva AI connected in there as well to create the thumbnails. Yeah, like everything can be automated, and you could have it set up as drafts into your Google Drive, where you then press publish if you want to make that edit. I prefer AI to do 90 to 95% of the work and have a human touch do the final, hammer in the nails, because there is those errors that you might want to perfect. But even if you just go in 100 AI, you'll get so much work done. So while people always have that thing that it's not the best.
My worry though is let's say you have, and this is just from someone that's not done hard enough of a deep dive into this and focusing the next few weeks on doing so. But my worry is that let's say you have AI cut down, a 4-hour clip down into an hour, let's just say, right? Like hypotheticals. And it's done all the editing for you, but then you want to make sure it didn't bundle something up. That still means you now have to listen through an hour and then edit that hour, which thankfully is way better than having to trim down the 4 hours. But it still means you still have a full hour. Or am I completely wrong on my assumption?
No, you're not wrong. But look at it this way: if I want to binge a whole series on Netflix and it's 10 episodes and each episode is almost an hour long, there's so much damn work that's gone into that thing to keep me to care about it for an hour per episode. So none of this stuff is but what's going to make it to where it's massively compelling content for an hour long? A fuckload of effort. That's what. Yeah. There's no getting around that. And having said that, Sapphire showed me this dope thing on my watch that I could do to throw massive fast emojis. I don't know if she's got that on.
Wait, you can do it with a watch?
With the watch. Sapphire's got the alpha, but we're not going to her, and that's what we're going to do now. Look at that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. She's got that. Now everyone wants to hear from Sapphire. Yeah.
I had someone do that on my spaces multiple times in a row to the point where speakers could not speak without trailing off. I actually had to end up kicking that person from my spaces. And that was the only person to this day that I've kicked off my spaces completely. He tried to change his name on me, but I remembered his name, and he spooked out every time. Sapphire, please take the mic away from me. I'm throwing it to you. What's good?
I am not Sapphire. I am an AI bot that's designed to clap on command. Ha ha ha.
We weren't expecting that.
First of all, I just love this conversation for so many reasons. Honestly, a lot of what Brick was saying resonated with me because I detest being behind the camera. But I also realize that if I'm trying to get where I'm trying to go, I have to do it. So I'm at the beginning stages where all my stuff is crap, but I'm at least recording it. And I'm just learning all these little tricks and techniques. And other than just like in the past being like a perfectionist and maybe having some insecurities, I think for me too, I'm actually out here single and trying to mingle. So I'm like, I was trying to catfish, but I'm just like, to hell with it. I'm gonna get one.
So, sorry,
you do not know the back end chat that we've had on the video call. Hey yo.
I get it though.
So I'm giving up my catfish. So no tricking, no being like gotcha bitch for me. I'm just gonna have to be out there. So I just love this because I'm learning a lot. And then I was gonna ask, I know a lot of you all do more podcast style where it's camera facing. Do you think this technology, like what you showed us in that clip on Kick, and if you're not in the Kick, then get in there. But do you think it would work for live, like motion performances and actual anything other than talking? Like, do you think it would be able to capture actual live performances?
Like this, like some of the dancing moves, you know?
Oh boy, we got Sanza's cameras following him around. I think here's the real question.
I'm kind of scared of what I'm seeing.
The guy's name is Dancing Eddie. What did we expect bringing him here? I think yes. There's no shot that all these other things are going to progress further, and we're not going to have some sort of like. I've actually talked a lot about this, and it always bugs them because they're always like weird devs that can't speak human. Like Brooke's amazing. Most of these people, they only speak robot, and it's obnoxious. I'm like, learn how to speak, fool. But I talked to the guys with the metaverse stuff, and I'm like, can we just have a cool camera that just is auto programmed to know that if I'm walking with my 3 metaverse homies and one of them talks, that it just like swivels over with the cool specific animation and shows his avatar. And then when I laugh, then it goes back to me and it does the pan shot and it chops it up and it knows that every 2 or 3 seconds it needs to change the view. Like there's no shot that we're not going to have that. And so having said that, if we have that in metaverse worlds, then there's no reason that we can't have, systems that I know there's already really cool systems in place. A lot of churches use these actually, because they got all the different angles, right? And they got pastors walking, he's a pacer and he's going back and forth. And so you have all these views and people live stream a lot of church services. And so you have
manual
and all of that. Yeah. But I'm just saying at the end of the day, there's going to be something that says, okay, when camera 3 sees, dude foot enter the frame, switch to that. Like, you know what I mean? So I do think this is going to go that way eventually. For now, I'm just happy to see Sanza and Dancing Eddie. I hope that answers that.
This is the first. This is the first time I actually tested the camera moving with me,
bro.
I don't move ever. So yeah, I spent a couple $100 on this camera to just stay there. But no, I do want to actually mess around with the settings on this. I know Chris wants me to.
What's the camera you have, Sansa? Give us some. Tell us what it is.
It's the I don't know the actual name, but essentially the main features. Yeah, there you go. It's the 360. I didn't know it was that global. So essentially, it just follows and tracks me around. There's some other things that I can do, but like if I do this, the camera will kind of reconfigure. But usually, what it's supposed to do is be able to zoom in or zoom out by depending where I do like basically an L feature here, and then it'll go up or down.
Yeah, mine's not doing that.
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with mine.
Yeah,
it might be broken.
Well, it's probably not the fancy Insta360 Eddie, But go ahead, Millie. What was your question?
No, so it's called 3. Is that the one, Chris, that you recommended?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I couldn't actually get that delivered to Canada. So go figure. I don't know. There must be some illegal thing in it.
Another reason why Canada sucks.
I know. It's just like everything is calling me to leave.
You should have brought it to. You should have had it ordered and delivered to Beacon. Then you should have done that.
I didn't even think about that.
From the wallet I control.
As if she didn't have enough to plan for. Like this woman puts everybody else to shame. She gets all the shots she needs. She tracks down the people she needs to go after. Like Melina, she's already doing better than everybody else.
I didn't do it too much at VCon. I will say I was chill. I was chilling.
You know who I'm not impressed with though on this subject is I gotta tell you, and the kid doesn't need much extra help on the ego. I certainly don't. OG crushed it. See all those interviews?
Yes.
My fucking guy.
He did, yeah.
So happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
honestly, and it's one thing I was excited about with that was one, interviews do actually kind of perform pretty well after the fact. His have done exceptionally well, but also it's just like it was cool that a lot of these events, like a lot of events when you go in person, it's almost like people forget how to do Twitter or how to do YouTube. It's like they'll do event content, and it's just like, here's what we did, and it's a nice showcase of the event. It's like, oh, people were sitting down here, and look, they were sitting down over there. Like, I don't care. What I want to see is like, yo, I'm OJ, and here I am with X influencer, and like, have fun, you know. Do cool stuff that people are going to actually watch after the fact.
To your point, Eddie, that's sort of that's the problem with a live event, because it dies the minute the event is over, right? So
exactly,
you really have to.
Which, by the way,
I was like, I thought he was gonna go pull out something. Which is why even before VCon, Chris and I had this space, and we talked about, you sort of have to plan out things. You know, I say unfortunately because people hate planning, but you have to plan out things. You have to, I would almost say, like, I don't know how OG did it, but like when I was in New York, I figured out who was going to be there. I figured out who I wanted. Again, you got to think about what's your brand, what are you doing, who are you talking to. But you have to, you almost have to make it that the event is like,
your canvas.
It's just the event, but what are you talking about? Like, is it relatable? You know, is it still relevant today?
Yeah.
Or
now, Melina, I will tell you, for the Azuki event in Vegas, on the day of the Azuki event, which should be fun. This is not a shill. I'm going to be throwing a paintball event in Vegas.
There you go.
And I will tell you, it is going to be about the content. It is going to be about who gets shot, much less than it's about, oh, look, they were playing paintball. Like, no. I want to see my favorite influencers get down and dirty with the paintball guns and get thick welts, you know. Hopefully not me, because I'll be sick, and I've got like my paintball mask somewhere in there.
But you're right, Eddie. That's way more interesting for people. Yeah, it's way more interesting. I would also, I like, I'm gonna say this here. I'm tired of like the video recaps. I'm like, nobody
suck. They suck.
Cares. I know.
No one cares.
I know. Unfortunately, I say this because it's the same thing. Like, I came back from New York, and the struggle. And this is why we're talking about AI and is it going to take over? Is that I couldn't push out my content fast enough. It just, that is the problem. It has nothing to do with, we could have so many ideas. It's almost like you need to be there, be present, edit, film, like, and it's got to come out the same week, which it's just hard.
You know what I'm worried about?
There's no such thing as being present when you are at these fucking events trying to do this at all. You have to, like, I'm obviously being a little bit of a doomer here. I didn't mean to like come in hot and cut everyone
cry
off.
About it.
It's just like, I've experienced an FTNYC and I've experienced VCon, and to me, I saw OG getting these interviews. I was watching him behind the scenes. I was hanging out with him, and
we made it into one of the videos.
Did you turn his mic off? I'm just kidding.
But no, he actually had an issue a couple times where he's like, oh shit, my mic wasn't charging as much, and like he was like, oh shit, like I'm running on low battery mic. So it's just like, but he was taking the time, he was putting in extra time of going to find these interviews, going to find these things, you know, going and they're like a minute plus long. So I think it's just about, you know, I think the trap that a lot of people fall into way too often, and then I'll stop and throw it over to Begin at the last hand up.
Love it.
Is that they fall into the trap of engagement, and I specifically speak on Twitter engagement, and it's just Chris was so happy the other day. I was like, I'm just gonna like completely stop. Like I cared a little bit because I was like, oh, it's like my resume, blah 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 blah. But I was like, no, I'm just gonna. If I want to post something, I want to post it because I think it'll make sense with what I'm talking about. Because at the end of the day, I don't post a lot of video content. I have a lot of chances and ideas to do it. I just don't execute as much as I want. And so that's going to change in the next couple months going forward. Because to me, the video content, I fucking love doing it. I love do.
We gotta get ready for when Twitter starts promoting the hell out of it.
Yeah, be ahead.
Exactly. So that's anyway, the TLDR, my point that I was trying to make really was just don't care too much about Twitter engagement. Care more about being consistent with whatever you're putting out, right? At the end of the day, if your worst case scenario, you did your best, it's been a few weeks, you figured out what worked and what didn't, and you readjust and work from there. Like really as simple as that. Yeah. But go ahead.
Yeah, you can't be too bougie or perfectionist or whatever. And honestly, Fanzo is probably one of the most. It's exhausting to think about how much this guy has just put out insane amounts of content consistently, video, audio, live.
Chris, you're rugging.
Damn it.
Or am I?
No, I was
that's just you, Sanza.
And so handsome, he's so smart. Fanzo's the best. That's what I was saying.
Clearly, obviously.
Well, and timing's everything, Melina.
And he's busy.
He's these funny parody videos. Like if it was a week from now, that shit wouldn't be funny. Like I did one about the jugs thing. It's not funny now. Other than you can see my cleavage.
And also, wouldn't you say that it doesn't work on other platforms unless you're here? That's the other thing too. And I think sometimes people don't understand. It's so specific. That's why I always talk about figure out who the hell is your audience, because you could be putting out all this stuff on Instagram, but nobody gets it. So find a way for people to get it. And I would even say, okay, you come back from these events. Now what? Who are you? What are you about? There's
what
gotta
did you learn from that. Who did you talk to? What did you learn from them? Use them sort of like Chris uses us for his own content and we don't get paid for it. It's fucked up.
Wow.
I mean, that ain't true.
Spin it back. Learn it. No, I get from him what I need.
Go vegan so he can
go for the jugular.
That's right. It's fucked up.
All right, vegan. It's up to you.
That humorous, to get that point across, and the whole repurposing. I'm a big believer that doesn't really work. I'm sorry, not sorry. But what is it? 85,000 views in the Women in Web3 panel parody video on Twitter, which isn't even a video app, and 2,000 on TikTok, and I have millions of views on other shit with me just sitting in the car. Repurposing does not always work. It's audience, it's topic.
Leave that expectation at home. Don't take it out to social media. All right. You're right, though. You're right. Vegan, redeem me for a moment because I'm all over the place.
Yeah, well, it's actually funny. I did want to talk to you guys, talk about the live event thing, and I do put on 2 live events every week. And my experience is not when it's over, they leave. It's the opposite. I'm kicking people out the door every single. I'm like, guys, I gotta go. But I think that's because we just do I only care about one thing in my mind. It's do smart, cool people meet other smart, cool people and have an interesting combo. And I think so many times it's literally individuals. Every week I'm Chris came this week. There's a couple people I was like, you two have to talk. Get together. You two have to talk. And then usually if a couple, because I always think about this at parties, at events, it's not everyone having the most amazing conversation that's equal. It's a couple people holding court and people oh my God, did you get to hear those 2 people having this amazing conversation? And I was near it and got to input some. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's one of the keys for events. And then in LA, we have so many NFT events here. There's one every single day, almost every single day. And one of the things I've had so many people express to me is that a lot of the events when they're coming up, they're like, we have to make content to make this pop. We've got to make content. And then people go to the event and then they come back and they go, it was really weird. They kept trying to milk me for content and make me take photos and make sure, hey, can you two stand together? And it's you don't ever get the time to actually have fun. So I think I really like content that is captured organically and not always, the classic, what do you think about this? Answer these questions, because it's it does kind of change the expectation of how people are interacting. And last thing is when we think about engagement, follows, likes, all those things, right? You can have a million of them, right? How many of them actually move over, actually convert to whatever you're needing to do? It is crazy how, right? You need one like from the right person. You need to meet one good person. And if you sometimes chase the whatever higher engagement is, I'm a programmer. It's shit posting memes don't get me programming gigs all the time, right? And so sometimes you're I post that interesting tech topic and it's damn, it's kind of low. But then someone's yo, interesting, let's talk. And then they have more money than everyone else. So that's all. Thanks.
Dude, that's exactly it. That was my experience at that event. And just before, because I'm going to pass it around and we'll close out. But Began and Trick have set up such a cool environment. When I went there, I was so nerded out looking at all the tech, the gear, the stuff that speaks to me. Fanzo, you would have just been tripping over yourself. You
Sounds like
out there. But there's just all these big giant stream decks. I was like, oh man, cool SM7Bs. And they're like, dude, those are like, that's like the bozo mics. Like we got a cabinet full of dope stuff. And then they dropped some weird acronyms that I don't know what they meant. But it was really, really cool. And the vibe was just, it was immaculate. It was on point. So I appreciate what was there. And I was like, I don't need to go all these places. I'm by LA. I'll just sit in the car. I never have to drive anywhere. Like my kitchen is 15 feet that way, right? I have a nice, cute little house. Like I don't go anywhere. This is what I do. This is where I'm at. So if I'm going to travel somewhere, I don't need to get on a plane. I go hang out with cool people in LA because Began has built an amazing experience. So
yeah, let's not talk about
all of you.
I was going to say
nice
that's
all of you that don't live in Idaho like me.
I was going to say though, because I'm hearing Chris.
Idaho.
I don't want him to FUD conferences. Right, we're closing now. Okay, Chris, we're closing.
She's muted.
I wanted to shut it down.
That's the mute button from Melina.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how about co-host privileges? Melina, what do you think his closing thoughts are on this besides me fudding project?
So here's where my mind is going. Is AI going to take over our content creation? I don't think so. I also said this on stage at VCon. I think right now we need to hone in as to who we are. I say accept your differences. That is what's going to separate you from everybody else on TikTok. I'm saying TikTok, but any other platform. And I think I'm still going to use my editor. Sorry.
Do it. Oh, we fudded Canada, and we have a hand up from a Canadian. All right, I'm just going to be stupid and say, Eileen, let's get that Canadian power in there before we move to the last hands here, or last speakers.
Hi, Chris. Hi, guys. Thank you for allowing me to say something. So I have you on Chromecast on TV, and I'm trying to follow you. I think I follow Chris.
I'm on TV.
And Sanza. And yeah, you are on a 75-inch for sure. Is it Melina?
Yes. Hi.
I don't know how to. What's your name on Twitter, Melina? Because you're not
girl in the verse.
She's the co-host, one right next to me.
With the red.
Let me make this easier.
So let me follow that. Yeah.
She is.
How Sanza was like right here, as if that would help. Like
between Sanza and Fanzo.
Yeah. I got that one so fine. I was just because I'm trying to like link you guys up and see who's on video on YouTube and then who you are in here because all of you are coming through only through Chris on Twitter. I think you understand what I mean by that.
That's why I put that video or that tweet up at the top.
Yeah.
I'm the sexy one.
Love this show. You all are sexy. You're all beautiful. Sincerely. I was just curious about one thing. Or one, and I mean this respectful.
She said I was sexy and rugged. That's okay.
Any of you
go ahead.
Up for hire. Like I don't see a subscribe button specifically to any of you. I'm not sure if you've submitted and are pending. One.
Pending.
Two, somebody said pending?
Pending, yeah.
Pending as well, yeah.
Yeah, pending. Okay. And one of you is in YYZ. Is it Melina? You're in Toronto? Yeah.
I'm in Montreal.
Okay. Oh shoot. I wish you were in Toronto. Okay. But none of you, so from what I can tell, none of you are for hire, like specific, like one-on-one hire.
I mean, I kind of am. But
yes, we are.
Yeah.
See, this is where I can't tell who's saying it. This is the challenge. I'm so sorry. So
Melina definitely
are you guys
is.
for hire?
Yeah.
Okay, Melina, you are, and then who else is somebody?
It was
else
me, but
for hire for what? Because
Melina, she's way better than me.
For like a one-on-one coaching on what you guys are talking about. So like just like tools that you're using. I subscribe.
I do excellent burlesque shows. I don't know if that's.
Keep the Riz to a minimum, Eddie. Let's go.
I'll talk to you about that later.
If you are, if in this chain, if somebody can.
Yeah, I'll
say who is.
Eileen, I'll DM you after this, and anybody that you wanted to connect with after the fact, go for it. And we are actually closing down. I see my boy Ryan down there, and I want to bring him up, and I want to talk to him, and I want to talk to everybody, but we've been going for 2 hours. Your boy's butt hurts. I'm tired of sitting here. And you can't do things like
recorded face.
I have a family that haven't seen me in 2 days.
Look at that.
You
Look
know,
what we're doing. We're families are being put to the back burner. This is sad.
Wow.
No, but you're gonna pay your family. You're gonna get hired. You know what I mean? When you're not going cheap, you're gonna get quality stuff. You're gonna get quality pay, right? So we're gonna do a good thing. I just wanted to know if anybody was up for hire, and I think it was Sanzo that's gonna DM me.
That's Chris. Chris will DM you.
Chris,
Anybody
yeah.
you want to connect
Beautiful.
with.
$1,000 an hour, or don't even try.
No, but I wanted to go back to the closing remarks, what I said before, which is I think I'm still going to keep my editor. I'm curious to see what all of you have to say. That's just my take.
100%.
Yeah,
Fanzo, what do you think? Editor? Sanza's going to keep his editor because that's kind of me. So, Fanzo, what do you think?
I don't know about my editor. I'm feeling him out. You know, it's been a few months now. I definitely will. And even on the hypothetical situation that I wouldn't, it would still be a lot of work because I've used ChatGPT for, just really simple stuff, simple tasks, and there's still a little refining needed. So I can only imagine how much more refinement is needed even on a more complicated stage. But what I will say is that AI is definitely a fantastic supplement to content creation. Just like Photoshop, when it first came out and no one understood it, it became a great supplement to image editing and whatnot. So that's kind of the path that I see AI taking here. Perhaps a little bit quicker because with machine learning, it can actually speed up a little bit more and whatnot. But that's just my take. And one thing that I wanted to also add before the closing remarks was, begin. You have inspired me. I really want to run a fantastic IRL Twitter Spaces event, like to the point where people like, this was such a fun party. And the Twitter Spaces was fucking fire. It wasn't just two people sitting next to each other while the crowd go ahead and did whatever the fuck they wanted. People were engaged, people that. So that's the type of experience that I really want to do. And I'll definitely be picking your brain at some point, my man. So just wanted to give you a heads up there. But don't worry, I won't be bothering you too much, just enough. But anyway, Chris, who else did you want to pass it to for the closing remarks?
I love what Fanzo has there. Oh my God, so nice.
Fanzo was telling you, go for it, sir.
Yeah, there it is right there. So my answer to that question on that side is for content you create, I say use an editor. For content you're documenting, use AI. And I think if we can find that happy medium, so I think that's a big lesson. I know Gary preaches it, but it was a game changer for me. There's content that I create, which is a one certain type of content, and then there's documentation type content, right? Like this Twitter space will be sent to my Zealous. If I think I said something, of value in the Twitter space today, actually it won't have come out of my mouth because we're using all Chris's mouth here. But normally I would be able to kind of tweet that out with a graphic. But I'll throw in like my closing remarks on the side of like measuring success is really hard when you don't define success first. So just be very aware of like what your success is as a creator and try to set that up from the beginning. My success is always the same. I want repeat viewership or repeat listenership. I don't give a shit about one video going viral, a bunch of people listening to one of my podcast interviews. I want people to come back repeatedly. That's the people that are the mature leads. That are the people that are actually my audience. And I tell you what, I document that shit manually using an Excel spreadsheet. If you tweet my podcast out saying I love this episode more than once, your Twitter handle goes into an Excel spreadsheet with your name because now I know that your persona is someone. So like repeat viewership. If you get people to come back more than once, that's the person you're going to focus on. Screw the viral shit. Screw the, trying to get, 15-second hooks. That's where, my attention goes. And, of course, press the damn button.
I love that, dude. That's actually just crazy alpha. It's just like, don't get in your own damn way. Don't get too smart for your own good. Sometimes just pay attention and fucking write that down. And
I saw someone on YouTube just commented they have 0 subscribers. We all started with 0 subscribers. And the beautiful thing about it is I was doing Google Plus interviews 10 years ago, interviewing Tony Robbins, interviewing Damon John. And I was honing in my skills then. I had no idea. I mean, no one watched it. It was on Google Plus. I mean, most people don't realize that. Oh yeah. I mean, you look at my YouTube.
You don't know what that is. We're gonna have words.
And he's like,
Google
13 years.
Well, don't do if Google does anything with social media, run the other way, because I had Google Wave and Google Plus, and I decided to go viral on Meerkat, and that was also a wonderful mistake. That my 15 minutes of fame. But I will say the things that you're doing now to learn how to be a better interviewer, content creator, scale, process. When the things kind of take off, like for me, when I launched the NFT 365 podcast, that was my eighth freaking podcast. 7 of them no one had ever heard of. One of them is called Press the Damn Button, by the way, just FYI, that most people don't even listen to. But all those 7 podcasts allowed me to hone the skills to where whenever I decided to do a daily podcast with 5 days notice, I was able to lean into that. So that's the piece of this. We all start with 0. And the more you start now, the better you'll be off later on. Everyone has an excuse of why they're not starting.
100%. Brooke, are you keeping editors? Are you going all robot all the time? What's your thought? Are you going to be the editor? Are you going to be the robot?
I don't know. It's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. And for me, it's been easy just to
Bullshit. Wait. Bullshit. I watched you do edits prior to this. And in the last video that you put out was fucking fire, pacing, chopped up. There was audio. It had nothing to do with it. Just chopped it up like autopod. So, okay.
Yeah, that was me.
Yep. You were awesome.
I don't know. Like I'm just saying it's just slow because like I don't have time to sit and, like you said, Premiere is I'm not great at it. So I will have to sit and do this. And with grad school and work and like all of the travel and all of that, even that hour of me like learning Premiere to do Autopod was rough. So but the AI thing, I have to say this, that like, I really, truly don't believe that it's going to like take over or hinder any type of content creation, because no AI is going to be able to like replicate my energy. So you're going to be able to look in my eye in that video and know that it's me, because no way is an AI going to be able to replicate my soul and my actual like energy, because you've all been around me in real life, a lot of you, and you're going to know that that's me. And so I really, encourage people to like, look at it that way. Your content is your like passion and your soul. That's going to come through, because that electricity does actually come through the screen. And I just don't think an AI is going to be able to replicate that ever, unless they become sentient, and then it's just going to be a clone of me. And then that's great, because I can go take a nap and the clone can do all the rest of this shit that I have to do. So
honestly, that would be fucking great. I would love
that's that. What I'm saying.
If they can make us take a nap and they can make our content, I don't think they need us.
Exactly.
What's with all these adults and grown people talking about sleep?
All right, Eddie, what's your take? Is AI taking over content creation, Eddie?
Yeah. I think so. I mean, I think it is. Obviously, it's not going to be like unless it's an experiment, it's probably not going to be like the core of the content. Like, people still want to connect with people, and people are hardwired innately to connect with other people. But at the same time, I mean, if you're talking about workflows and streams, to make things way faster, I mean, it's going to change everything. And that's like, it's making me want to come back to, because like I've had this for years, and I had a stretch where I was editing and it just became like exhausting. It took like hours and hours and hours of time, and I was just like, it's not, for how good I am and how good I can be, like, this is not where I think my energy is best distributed. But you take it and you slice the amount of effort down by like 80-90%, and you just focus it on the content of the content rather than the creation of said content. And like, there we go, that clicks. So for me, I just feel like, and I never had the ability to like hire a 10-person team. So now that, maybe not 10-person, but you get the idea. So like I can the reality of me becoming more of a content creator, especially on the video side of things, has increased exponentially in probably the last 3 months. And that's why I'm going to probably try and spend the summer diving into it, and we'll see.
Love it, man. Well, thank you for joining today. Thank you for everybody who contributed a bunch. We actually are streaming to 9 places aside from this Twitter space. So we're in 10 places across the internet right now. That's all sorts of opportunity to clip things up and to share with different audiences and cross-pollinate and all that stuff. And so, yeah, if you don't have a 10-person team, just invite a bunch of smart people to your live stream and syndicate all over the internet. Who needs a team? Who needs AI? I just got all these people. All right, I'm just playing. I appreciate everybody. Thank you for joining this space. Join us next week on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and connect with everybody who's up here speaking and the people next to you on the stage and the people next to you in the audience, because there's a lot of smart people listening too. We appreciate you, everybody. You people on stage, don't leave. I need your videos to upload in the background. Everybody on Twitter, I'll probably be in a space in like 5 minutes. See you there.
Bye, guys.
Au revoir.
You guys are
okay.
awesome.